Welcome to Section 2. In this section, you look at different types of information extraction, also known as IE. This module provides information about 5 different types of information extraction. The first is key phrase extraction, also known as KPE. KPE extracts useful words or phrases from text. Next is named entity recognition, or NER. NER identifies entities, such as names of people, locations, organizations, dates, and product names. The third is named entity disambiguation, or NED. NED is the task of uniquely identifying entities in text. Then there's relationship extraction, which deals with identifying relationships between entities. Finally, event extraction extracts knowledge about events, such as stock splits or initial public offerings, also known as IPOs. We will start with key phrase extraction, or KPE. KPE extracts useful words and phrases from text. These phrases capture the general intent of the text. KPE is generally an unsupervised machine learning problem. A few algorithms can do KPE. The general approach is to organize the words or phrases into a weighted graph, where the weight indicates the importance of the key phrase. Nodes that are more connected with the rest of the graph are more important. Typically, the top nodes are returned, for example, the top 10 nodes. The Word2Vec visual from Module 3 is an excellent way to visualize this process. That visual used T-distributed stochastic neighbor embedding, also known as TSNE. Term frequency inverse document frequency, or TF-IDF, is a weight that is used to evaluate how important a word is to the document in a corpus. Common words in a document that are not common in the corpus are likely to be important words for that document. KeyBERT is a minimal keyword extraction technique that uses bidirectional encoder representations from transformers, or BERT, embeddings. KeyBERT uses these embeddings to create keywords and key phrases that are most similar to a document. Amazon Comprehend provides an application programming interface, or API, for performing KPE. Another key NLP task is named entity recognition, or NER. NER identifies entities such as people names, locations, organizations, dates, and product names. NER is often required to process downstream tasks. For example, NER can help with event and relationship extraction by extracting event names, locations, and dates. In addition, NER is used in translation to decide if a word needs to be translated. Typical names do not need to be translated. Spacy has an excellent set of tools for extracting and visualizing name entities. You can also use transformers such as BERT. Amazon Comprehend provides an API for entity recognition. You can use this API without machine learning knowledge. The next NLP task is called Name Entity Disambiguation, or NED. This is the task of uniquely identifying entities in text. Consider this sentence: Ford forded the ford in the Ford. This sentence has a person, an action, a shallow body of water, and a car, all named Ford. To uniquely identify each entity, you first need to identify the entities of interest. With the entities identified, you can then link them to more data on the topic. Often, this link is to a web article or entry in a knowledge base. The Ford example is complicated because which Ford to link to depends on the Ford in the question. The context in which Ford is used can help you decide if you should link the car to a car company, the body of water, the person, or the action. Together, NER and NED enable named entity linking, also called NEL. NEL is a key task for digital assistants and search engines to return the correct results. For example, if you search for news about Paris, an assistant needs to figure out if Paris means the person or the place. Spacy has tools to identify entities based on a knowledge base that you create. Now we have relationship extraction, which is the NLP task that identifies relationships between entities. This task helps with applications such as Q&A systems, digital assistants, search, and text summarization. In the example that is shown, it's easy for a human to determine that Jeff Bezos is the CEO of Amazon. To do this in NLP, you first need to identify entities by using a named entity recognizer. Then you need to determine if there is a semantic relationship between them. Three main techniques exist to determine the relationship. The first technique is rule-based. This technique defines a set of rules for the syntax and grammar to extract the relationship. These patterns look similar to X, such as Y, which could match musical instruments, such as guitars. The second is supervised. This requires a large labeled data set of relationships to learn from. Finally, there is semi-supervised. This technique uses a few labeled examples to seed the data. That data is then used to extract more relationships. Amazon Comprehend Medical provides relationship extraction that can tie information together. For example, consider the phrase left chest pain. Pain is extracted as the medical condition, with chest as the anatomical location and left as the direction. Spacy provides a set of rule-based matching which you can use to build relationships. The final type of information extraction is event extraction. This is the process of extracting knowledge about events in text. Events can be anything from meetings to stock price changes to elections. Event extraction is challenging. An event must first be detected in the text. Then the key event information, such as participants, location, and date, must be extracted. Consider the example. Any company announced today a 2-to-1 stock split, which will be effective on May 24, 2021 at market open. One approach would be to use pattern matching to detect the event, in this case, stock split. From there, you could find the entities detected in the sentence to find the organization. Then you could use pattern matching to look for the date and numerical values for the split. Amazon Comprehend has functionality to detect events such as bankruptcy, employment, corporate acquisition, investment, corporate merger, IPO, rights issue, secondary offering, shelf offering, tender offering, or stock split. In this section, you learned 5 different types of information extraction. Key phrase extraction finds the useful words or phrases from text. Named entity recognition identifies entities such as people's names or locations. Named entity disambiguation uniquely identifies entities in text. Relationship extraction deals with relationships between entities. And finally, event extraction is about finding events in text such as stock splits or IPOs. In the next video, you learn about tools for information extraction. Thanks for watching.